Now, I prefer to call this a dish which is a braised beef, and the actual dumplings just happen to be gluten-free because I think it's no difference personally. But it's very simple. It's a very simple dish. So in here, let's talk about steak first. Now, this is what I call chuck steak. Now, chuck steak is from the front of the animal. Anything literally by back of the shoulders right down is all the steaks and the good bits. The front part of the animal is for braising, essentially.
So slow cooking?
Yes. Now, this is around about 15% fat. And what I do is I much rather have big chunks if I'm braising because small ones tend to overcook and fall apart.
Yeah, and then you get it just like a mush, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a gravy, which I don't mind. But if you look here, that's what I've done. Look, I've got some big bits here, look, so nice big chunks. Now, in the recipe, I say brown it, but you don't have to brown it if you don't want. If you were blindfold, the end dish, would you taste the difference?
Well, I'd like to think I would. I've always said this.
I bet you. I bet you can't.
Right.
I've done sensory testing, and you've got to really have a very, very fine
Can I
palate.
ask you another question? Do you flour your meat to help thicken the sauce? Because my mum taught me I cut it up and I put some flour in a plastic bag and shake it.
Yes.
It's just dusted.
Now, yes, I would do to thicken a stew. This is gluten-free, so we don't do that. But also, most feet like this is vac-packed these days, which makes it quite wet. Yeah. So when you chop it up, it will be wet. If you flour it, it stops it sticking into the pan as well and helps keep the moisture in as it hits the oil.
And are you telling me that you taste food blindfolded then?
Oh, I've done years of sensory perception where you sit in a grey booth and the food comes through, so you can't see any colours.
I think that's really interesting, though, because do your eyes tell you things, don't they, about food before you've tasted it?
Right, it's a very quick stew. So here I brown the meat, I put the rest back in there, and that's big chunks of chuck steak. If you're going to go to the supermarket, it's probably under braising steak or stewing steak. Then I'm going to add a little bit of tomato paste. And the good thing about this recipe is, because there is no flour, you can just chuck it all in at the start and it will cook perfectly. 1 beef stock cube, that goes on top.
Oh, so you don't dilute that with water then, straight in?
Not at the moment.
All right.
A bit of fresh thyme. Little pinch of sugar. Little pinch of sugar just balances the tomato paste. Oh. And then I'm going to add to that...
Do you do that in all your casseroles, then, a pinch of sugar?
Just a little pinch, yeah. Especially pork as well, works really well.
That's Phil's little tip for today.
Normally, chicken don't need to. Carrots and onions, in they go. Again, you're not browning them whatsoever. In it goes. And then I add water, just to come halfway up the meat, like so. And you bring that to the simmer, OK? And you put it into an oven. It must be simmering when it goes in the oven, because then it will actually carry on cooking when you put it in. If you don't, it takes 45 minutes to heat up. Lid on, 160 degrees centigrade, gas mark 3.
Do you have it bubbling and then straight in? Straight
in the oven.
OK.
You can put a little bit of pepper. No salt is needed because you've got a stock cube. Right, let's talk about dumplings. These are gluten-free dumplings.
Yes.
Now, here I've got... this flour mix is a mixture of white rice flour, potato starch, which is when you cut potatoes and leave them in the sink, you get that white powder, dehydrated, and tapioca starch, which holds everything together. OK? Now, I would use suet normally, but a lot of suet is coated in flour, so you can't actually use it for gluten-free. So I'm using a block margarine, and we find that block margarine, trans-fat-free block margarine, mimics the actual suet pretty well, and it does actually work.
I actually don't like suet, so this would be quite
a lot of people don't.
I avoid dumplings because I don't like suet.
It has that aftertaste, doesn't it? Now, as you can see, I've just literally rubbed it in, not too much, so it's like a suet. Baking powder goes in. Parsley, in that goes. And then I've got a little bit of fresh horseradish, creamed gluten-free horseradish, and a touch of water. And all you want to do then is just bring that together, and you'll see that it will just come to a nice dumpling. Now, you'd think this wouldn't actually go too far, but this will make 8 really nice dumplings.
8? Yeah.
Yes, it will, because they will expand.
Small dumplings.
Yes, but they do expand. Trust me, I'm a chef.
I trust you every time.
OK, and so we get up to here. Here I've got a little bit of flour. We'll just roll that together, and you'll just see, you will see little tiny bits of margarine in there. See that?
Yeah.
Now, what you'll do, when the stew comes out the oven, this is what we did a little bit earlier, it'll look like that. So
oh, that looks gorgeous.
3/4 cooked, and you just pop into the dumplings, put it back into the oven, uncovered, for a further 35 to 45 minutes. And they will...
And you're looking for the dumplings to expand and be a bit browned on the top?
Yeah, they go slightly crunchy on top and soft underneath. And there it is.
Oh, look at that.
Now, look at those. Look at that. Nice and crunchy on top and soft underneath.
And it looks really rich.
Yeah, and you'll see that the actual gravy reduces nicely No thickenings needed.
Oh, look who shipped up. Look who shipped up.
No, shut up.
You always,
I'll give you a
right,
five.
and you always turn up with the grub served.
I know, I don't get fed at home.
And you're suggesting some turnip or
You call that
sweet?
turnip, I call that sweet.
Swede.
Yeah, but it's the
Okay.
same thing.
What do you call that, Rylan? Swede or turnip?
He doesn't need
Sign
it.
kind of and go up.
Oh, you don't care, really? So
Oh,
you
really?
says-
I like a dumpling.
Yeah, but try that. So completely gluten-free.
That's good. We were just talking about this in the
Soft.
green room.
Yeah, very soft. But you wouldn't. To me, you wouldn't know the difference.
Oh, has that got mustard in?
It's got horseradish.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, that horseradish gives it a nice, fresh kick. Same sort of thing.
I can hear him laughing in my ear. It is lovely.
What do you
What can I say?
Well, the horseradish is
Yeah,
lovely.
it just gives it a nice.
Isn't that lovely, Rose?
It's warm. Do you not like horseradish?
Nice dumplings.
Thank you very much.
Oh, it's warming.
Phil,
Yeah.
thank you very much,
My
dear.
pleasure. My pleasure.
Were you not tempted to invite Harry Hill back?
No, not at this stage. Perhaps next time.
That meat's nice.
Oh, you did
as
very
well.
well.